Hi, I'm Olivia and this is White Rabbit Journeys. I am a QHHT and BQH facilitator based in Berlin, but I also offer online sessions. QHHT is Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique and BQH is Beyond Quantum Healing. These are two modalities that kind of lead to the same result. It's kind of like a form of deep meditation where I help you go through a process of steps and help you reconnect with your higher self and with experiences that you've had in other lives, whether that's past, future, parallel, this life. And so in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the process of the preparation and the steps of a session, how that looks, so that you can get a little bit of a better idea of what you're in for or whether it appeals to you. So a session generally takes around 3 to 5 hours, depending on, I guess your past experience with this kind of work, whether you've done a lot of kind of healing and soul searching and therapy, or whether this is kind of the door that is opening you to that world. And so the first part is that we just talk about your life for like anywhere from half an hour to an hour and a half, maybe even longer. And you just tell me like about your life and where you are right now, what you're going through, your questions, possibly about your childhood or relationships in your life. And that just helps both of us like understand where we're coming from, where we're at, what is the base situation. Yeah, and hearing about your life can just help me kind of have a bit of an overview so that when I'm guiding you through the process and maybe I can see that a metaphor is relating to something that's going on in your life, that I can better improvise my questions that kind of guide you through your journey. And then after we have the talk, we go over the questions that you've brought. So before a session, I will ask you to prepare 10 to 20 questions about your life. And these questions can be about anything. They can be about relationships, about your purpose here, about even about kind of more universal things like what are hummingbirds' role on planet Earth, and how long is Earth's history? And I mean, it can be anything really. Anything that you're curious about, whether it's in your life or kind of, bigger picture things are also possible. What people very often ask is, why am I here? What is my purpose? Where should I go next? And so those are things that are quite common. Yeah, and so then after we talk about your questions, make sure that I understand where you're coming from with them and what you meant, then we go into the journey part. And so I guide you into a deep meditation. It's almost like a trance-like state. It can kind of feel a little bit like that space where you're in shortly before you fall asleep. So kind of like deeply relaxed, like you could already start going into dream world, but you're kind of, you're still hearing, maybe the sounds in the room a bit. And that's kind of like generally the space where the session stays, or where you are during the session. And so after I guide you into that state, then it starts. So I'll start asking you questions about like what you're seeing or noticing around you, how you're feeling, and then it can take a little bit of getting used to because, or like we live in a world right now where our imagination isn't really encouraged anymore. It might be during our childhood, but then at some point it's like, nope, this is how it works, guys. So it can take a couple of moments to just kind of trust your imagination and what you're feeling or sensing. But then, after saying a couple sentences and just like going with the first thing that comes up, then it usually starts to flow more easily. And so that part is an hour long. And then in the second part, we talk to your higher self, or, your subconscious. There are different names for it. I like to think of it as a higher self because I kind of think of it as like this loving presence that's watching me from above, and I'm kind of like in its bubble. But yeah, you can think of it as subconscious, or, whatever appeals to you. So we talk to the higher self, and I ask the higher self the questions that you gave me, that you brought. I ask permission to speak to the higher self, to ask the questions, and then you have to let the answers flow out of you. So like lending your voice to your higher self. And so it feels quite funny, you've got your like normal thinking mind somewhere there, like hanging out in the corner, being like, spreading its seeds of overthinking, and then you've got your kind of like higher self voice that's coming through you. But yeah, that's a very beautiful, powerful part of the session. You'll often feel your body warm up quite a bit. That's also the part where I will, speak to your higher self and ask you for some like, physical healing as well, if you have any physical ailments. And yeah, that's about an hour long as well. So in total, you're never in that state of mind for more than 2 hours. If we do kind of hit the 2-hour mark, then often your higher self will just like push you back into your body automatically, because your body can really only take it for about 2 hours. After that, we then just have a debrief, talk about what you went through, how you felt, how you're feeling now, and kind of come back down to earth. I'll probably give you some snacks if you're here in Berlin. Yeah, and then we wrap it up, and that's the session. So if you have any other questions, you're welcome to ask them below, or you can contact me via my website or my email, which are in the About section of this. And yeah, I'm very happy to help if you are interested in having your first or subsequent session with me. Thank you.